February 13, 2021. In dreams, I saw a house that had several rooms. It was big and spacious. There, in it, a family organized everything, because the house was very disordered. I saw how they took pains in this and how they were progressing in the appearance of that place. When they were about to finish their arduous task, I saw a woman who left the door of one room and went to another. This one trafficked throughout the house and entered from place to change from place everything that the family had already accommodated. The family had already left the house, after finishing accommodating the same, and they did not realize what was happening with this woman inside the house. She would stop, look carefully at everything, and proceed with the changes, that she saw that they were not helpful at all. Like this she went, from place to place, until the whole house was formatted in her own way, and she looked happy. I saw that the family that had left the house took pains to organize every place on the land that belonged to them. I saw many metal tubes, thick and thin metal plates, and wooden sticks, and several places, in their properties, that were with these materials, but they worked laboriously in the collection and arrangement of that place. I saw how they arrived, then, at the place of the thick metal plates, and they could not lift them. I then saw that one of them left and then arrived at the property. And he came with 2 machines, with 2 heavy equipment machines, bulldozers. The young man from the family drove one, and the man who drove the other was not from the family. I saw the head of the family, the father of the family, give instructions on where to put the thick plates that he wanted to move, from where they were, to the place where he wanted to organize them. And so it began to be done. And the head of the family and his wife went to work in another part of the land, in another organization, but this, more lighter. Meanwhile, the machinists did their job. I saw that a few minutes after the machinists began to do their work, the woman who was inside the house came out and began to give orders that were very different from those given by the head of the family. And one of the machinists, the one who was not from the family, began to do everything as the woman told him. And the other machinists, the young man, the couple's son, did not follow the woman's instructions, and shouted at the head of the family. Like this, the head of the family arrived at the place and realized what had happened, and tried to make the machinist, who had listened to the woman, understand why he had given that order to put the thick plates in another place. And so I saw that the intruding woman hid behind a tree so that the head of the family would not see her. The machinist returned, once again, to execute the directives of the head of the family. And everything continued in order. After a long time, the drivers went near a mighty river that passed near the property, and gave, the head of the family, instructions for the improvement and effective use of that place. Like this, the machinists began their work. And the head of the family and his wife went to the house for food. Upon entering the house, they realized that everything was changed and in disorder. Like this, they began the work of rearranging everything, again and thoroughly. And they checked every corner of the house. They prepared food and, this time, when they left they locked the doors, and they went to where the machinists were. Upon arriving, they saw that they were already resting under the shade of a tree. The young machinist looked distressed, while the other seemed calm. The head of the family observed the work, grabbed his head and exclaimed, "Why have you done this?" The man machinist said, "A woman came, and she said that she had reason from you that you changed from opinion and that you wanted it to be done that way." The young machinist exclaimed, "I was going to shout, but the woman told me, 'Your father will come right now. It is better to do what he ordered, than to be making complaints.' So, then, I did a little, but, as I did not agree, I stopped the machine. And she was yelling at me to continue. But, when the machine stopped, I removed the key and no one could move it. And this man was the one who carried out everything you ordered through the woman, according to what she told us." The head of the family couldn't believe what his eyes were seeing. There had been a bearable bank, with beautiful stones facing the beautiful river. Now there was an abyss of great danger between the property and the river. Like this, the head of the family fired the man who allowed himself to be carried away by the intruding woman. And he sent for helpers to repair what was damaged on his property. They arrived and, together with him and the young man, repaired everything. And everything was more beautiful than it was before. and many were able to enjoy the beautiful remodeling. Then, they went through the premises. They proceeded to search meticulously for that intruding woman who had hindered everything. They found her and took her away from everyone, to a huge desert. And, there, they abandoned her, and they never saw her again. And so, all was peace in that place where order and hard work reigned, but a lot of happiness. There I woke up. And, at that time, it was referred to me, Colossians, chapter 2 and chapter 3. I leave this, beloved, with you. Let's analyze what the Lord wants to tell us in this hour. And let's just follow thus says Jehovah. May the Lord bless us.